On the smaller craft, we have the option of running single engines or twin engines. Single engines nowadays in Europe and places where you operate in safe areas, single engines becoming more popular. It's firstly less fuel usage, it's cheaper to buy, and it's a lighter package all in all. If the boat's going to be used in sea conditions, rough sea conditions, long range application where you need the reliability of a second engine, the option is there. And in rough seas, twin engines are always going to give you better performance. You have two engines pushing, it's better for control, better for steering. But a single engine application on the smaller ribs is definitely a big option. The moment you go to the bigger models from 25 foot upwards, the tunnel height becomes much higher, and in the case of higher tunnel, a single engine starts becoming a problem because the water coming through the tunnel is interfering with the flow of the water on the propeller. So on your bigger models, you have to use twin engines. As we go to the bigger models, we're going to jump from or have the possibility of twin outboards or inboards. Nowadays, with the new green energy, we also have the possibility on HyCats to use eco-friendly propulsion systems like hybrid electric motor versus with a couple to a diesel or petrol engine. These also are new possibilities that we are working on. When it comes to the drive system, option of a drive system on these boats, conventional outboard engines, HyCat product prefer a smaller and more slender gearbox. On conventional boats, bigger gearbox, we often hear the term Bigfoot. A Bigfoot engine means that you have a big propeller, and it's normally inefficient boats that needs to run with these big propellers and big gearboxes. On a HyCat, we prefer smaller gearboxes and higher pitch, more performance type propellers, because you're running on the surface of the water. Once the foil lifts the boat out, you're actually running on a very thin layer of water, and that top layer of the water is quite often aerated water. So your propellers are very, very important to have a good propeller that would not cavitate. And we help people to select the right propellers, and often we would sell the boat with a engine combination and the correct propeller, not having problems with cavitation. When it comes to the faster models, surface piercing propeller technology is well known in military circles and well known in racing circles, but it's not often used on conventional boats or leisure boats because these boats are not efficient enough. On the HyCat with the hydrofoil running on the surface of the water, this type of propeller system works extremely well. Surface piercing propeller technology basically means that the boat lifts so high out of the water, it lifts the gearbox out of the water, and your propeller, the top blades of the blades of the propeller will actually break the surface of the water, and only the bottom blades would cut into the water that propels the boat forward, again reducing drag. On a conventional boat with a gearbox low underwater, there's a speed limit to these gearboxes, and you would get to a certain speed where your gearbox effectively cannot go faster, even if you have a big engine and a high-pitched propeller. When you start running with surface piercing, the resistance in the gearbox disappear. These gearboxes will have water pickups low down so that you don't have overheating problems, but the efficiency is phenomenal. The way to actually recognize a surface piercing propeller on a boat is you would see a big rooster tail, water spraying at the back of the boat. That is a sign that surface piercing propellers are being used. Jet propulsion is also very good with a HyCat, and the HyCat's got a very specific hull design with a patented spray rail that actually helps jet engines to compress the water into the jet intakes to prevent air coming in. Hydrofoils running very high on the water surface, it's easy to introduce air into the air intake, onto the water intake. And on our boats there's a specific design that actually helps feeding the water in. So there's a selection of efficient drives that would work on the Cat. And once again, the most important point here is to have the correct propeller selection, the right pitch of the propeller, and that will up your efficiency by a lot if you run with the correct setup.